from a mycologist to a friend. This is a rare old-growth mushroom called Agarikon. Only grows in the old-growth forest. It is now on the red list of threatened species in Europe.
What if the key to surviving the next pandemic has been growing silently in ancient forests for thousands of years? World-renowned mycologist Paul Stamets believes certain mushrooms, once revered by shamans and now studied in modern labs, can boost human immunity. In a recent podcast with Joe Rogan, he revealed data from clinical trials showing that these fungi reduced vaccine side effects and enhanced antibody response. It's not just folklore anymore. Backed by science, Stamets claims mushrooms could reshape how we defend ourselves against future outbreaks. September 2001. Just weeks after 9/11, fear of biological warfare gripped the U.S. government. Laboratories across the country began testing millions of compounds for antiviral properties. One obscure journal article caught their eye, a one-page paper written by Paul Stamets titled Novel Antivirals from Mushrooms. His sample, Agarikon, a rare wood-dwelling fungus, ranked in the top 10 of over 2 million substances tested by a Pentagon-led program. It wasn't synthetic. It wasn't patented. It was a mushroom growing on the side of an ancient tree, and it was the only natural compound on that elite list. Agarikon isn't found in your local grocery store. It's an ancient species growing high in the canopies of old-growth forests, often living over 100 years. In classical Greece, it was called the elixir of long life. Indigenous cultures of the Pacific Northwest used it for treating coughs, fevers, and wounds, long before microscopes existed. But folklore aside, what matters today is this. Modern science has confirmed Agarikon possesses powerful antiviral and anti-inflammatory properties, without the side effects typical of synthetic drugs. Fast forward to 2023. Stamets and researchers from UC San Diego conducted a double-blind, placebo-controlled clinical trial to see if mushrooms could enhance vaccine effectiveness. Two groups. One received a placebo. The other took capsules of Agarikon and Turkey Tail, before and after getting a COVID-19 vaccine. The results were astonishing. The mushroom group experienced fewer side effects, less fatigue, less fever, fewer headaches. 6 months later, their antibody levels were significantly higher than the control group. Blood tests revealed increased levels of IL-10 and IL-1RA, anti-inflammatory cytokines that help prevent immune overreactions. In simple terms, these mushrooms made vaccines work better while reducing their side effects. Years earlier, researchers gave turkey tail extract to women recovering from breast cancer treatments. They weren't expecting miracles, just safety. But what they saw shocked them. Patients taking turkey tail showed an increase in natural killer cells, caused higher levels of T helper cells, and faster recovery of immune function after radiation. This wasn't theoretical. It was measured, published, and peer-reviewed. And yet, almost no one talks about it. Stamets has spent over 40 years collecting mushroom strains from old-growth forests. He now maintains the largest Agarikon strain library in the world, with over 107 genetically unique strains. Only one of those strains was used in the COVID study, which raises a haunting question. What cures are hiding in the other 106? Each felled tree, each destroyed ecosystem could be the loss of a future medicine, one we'll never get back. Today, bird flu is spreading, not just among chickens, but among cattle. Virologists are deeply concerned. If H5N1 spreads to pigs, the virus could mutate and jump to humans. The mortality rate of H5N1 in humans? Up to 70%. COVID-19 was highly contagious but moderately deadly. The next virus might be both. Stamets calls this the era of viral storms. Factory farming, climate change, and deforestation are accelerating viral spillover events, pushing us closer to the next global outbreak. If we don't prepare now, we may not get another chance. We often imagine the immune system as a wall, something to strengthen. But it's more like a symphony, complex, dynamic, and precise. If one section is too loud, we get autoimmune disease. If one section is too soft, infections take over. Medicinal mushrooms don't just boost, they modulate. They help the immune system respond intelligently, not aggressively. That's why compounds like beta-glucans, found in turkey tail and agarikon, are being studied for cancer support, autoimmune regulation, and even age-related immune decline. They help the body heal smarter, not just faster. This isn't just academic for Stamets. Years ago, his 92-year-old mother was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. She was given just months to live. Too frail for chemo, she was sent home to say goodbye. Stamets placed her on a strict protocol: turkey tail, lion's mane, and supportive therapies. Months passed. Her immune markers improved. The cancer stabilized, then regressed. Years later, she was still alive, walking, laughing, gardening. Was it only the mushrooms? No one can say. But science now backs what Stamets witnessed firsthand. In 2018, NASA began experimenting with mycelium for space missions. Why? Because fungi are lightweight, self-repairing, insulating, and can be grown from waste material. They're testing whether fungi can be used to build shelters on Mars. Think about that. The same organism Stamets says can protect our immune systems might also protect our colonies on other planets. Mushrooms are no longer folklore. They're future tech. You've probably heard of microdosing psilocybin, tiny doses of psychedelic mushrooms that enhance mood and focus. But here's something less known. In a massive anonymous survey of 13,000 microdosers, 27% reported fewer colds, flus, and general illnesses. Why? Because stress weakens the immune system. And microdosing, when combined with lion's mane and niacin, as in Stamets' famous stack, may help restore mental and physical balance. It's not just about creativity, it's about resilience. Less than 5% of North America's original old-growth forests remain. And with each acre lost, we risk losing fungi that can't be grown in labs, only fruit under specific ecological conditions, and contain unknown medicinal compounds. Logging companies see timber. Stamets sees a biomedical archive on the brink of extinction. A fallen tree isn't just dead wood. It's a chemical library, and we're burning it for profit. Skeptics argue Stamets is too enthusiastic, that his claims are premature, that we need more trials, and they're not entirely wrong. But history teaches us that most medical breakthroughs began in nature, like penicillin from mold, aspirin from willow bark, and Tamiflu from star and ice. What makes mushrooms different? Nothing, except that we've barely begun to study them. So, where do we go from here? Do we wait for pharmaceutical giants to catch up? Do we ignore promising data because it doesn't come in a prescription bottle? Or do we, as individuals and communities, begin exploring what's already available, safely, intelligently, and with curiosity? Because if a single mushroom strain can reduce vaccine side effects, boost antibodies, calm inflammation, and possibly fight future pandemics, what are we waiting for? Paul Stamets isn't selling magic. He's offering a perspective, a way of seeing health not as a pill, but as a relationship between body, mind, and earth. The medicine we need may already exist, not on a pharmacy shelf, but on a fallen log, in a dark forest, under layers of moss and thyme. And like mycelium itself, it's quiet, persistent, and connected to everything. Maybe the key to surviving what's next is simply learning to listen.